There we go. So hi, everybody. We are ready to start our Zoom-I-NAR for the night. Everybody can wave at each other. We have some great speakers lined up for you tonight. Some wonderful highlights. I hope you have your notebooks ready to take some notes. And we're going to start just right off. And Michelle is going to introduce herself and tell you a little bit about her. And then we're going to hear from everybody and then go back and then hear the speeches and the training that everyone has. So Michelle, go for it, girl.
Hi, everybody. A lot of new people on here I haven't met before, but my name's Michelle McLeod. I'm with Paparazzi Accessories. It's a direct sales company, and I have tips on how to become successful working your business part-time, and that's huge. So I'll be back in a few minutes to give you a scoop on that.
Perfect. Thanks, Michelle. And then we have Debbie. So Debbie, let me unmute you here. Oh, no, you're not muted. So there you go. Go.
Hi, everybody. I'm with One Life to Thrive. I am a life and leadership coach, and I'll tell you more about that here in a minute. But tonight I'm going to talk about healthy boundaries and hopefully help you eliminate some chaos in your life.
You mean people have chaos?
A few.
I've heard that, really? Yeah, I think everybody deals with stress and chaos and all kinds of things like that, right? So
yeah, absolutely.
And Burton, what are you going to talk to us about? Who are you anyway? Tell us.
I thought you had me muted, but it looks like you're in control now, Delinda.
I am, and boy, do I like it.
I know you do. For those of you who don't know me, my name's Burton Kelso, the technology expert. I own a company called Integral, which offers on-site service in the computer field in the Kansas City metro area, and we do on-site service too, but my goal is to make technology fun and exciting for everyone out there. No more struggles. Let's have fun with tech and get the most out of it.
Wow. Because I think as wonderful as technology is, if there's anything that can put me over the top, it's when it doesn't work correctly.
That's right.
I throw this computer out the window, right? So
right.
You can help us when we reach that point. So
that's right.
I'm anxious to hear more about that.
There to talk you down from the ledge.
Yeah, and that's a great phrase. I love that. That's a great one. So, and I don't see Sandy, and so we're going to keep on, and hopefully Sandy will be joining us here in a little while. Sandy Tabola, who's going to be talking to us about healthy choices for our body. So, I'm really just so glad to have all of you here. I'm trying to see who else is on, so I can just do quick hellos before we get exactly started. It's not showing me everybody, but we're having more people join in, and I love that. I just think it's fun that y'all would take your time out to come join us, because the most important commodity that any of us have, the most important thing you can offer to people is their time. So the fact that you would, as teachers, that you would take your time to come and teach and share your knowledge with us, I so appreciate. And then those who take their time to listen and come and learn from you, I really value your time so much. So I don't want to anybody to ever feel like, well, what in the world I get on that thing for? So let's go ahead and get started right away. And Michelle, I'm anxious to hear how you're going to tell us how to do a successful business in, did you say 15 minutes?
I did.
Okay.
15 minutes a day, you can build a business. So I'm going to tell you all about that and why I do that. So a little bit of background about myself. I'm Michelle McLeod. I'm from Ohio originally, moved out to Vegas. And I took the buyout after working at General Motors 21 years, punching the time clock and all that. So I had some friends in direct sales marketing, and man, they were making like killer money, and they got to be their own boss and all this stuff. So I thought I'd try direct sales. And I looked around and I found a company I absolutely love now. It's called Paparazzi Accessories. They're only 7 years old, so and they're pretty new in case you haven't heard of them. And their main product is a $5 jewelry that's lead and nickel free. So that's the price point that sells it. It just flies off the hook. So that's what we're known for, is our $5 jewelry. So my why was I want to be my own boss and all that. So a little bit about where my status is right now with the company. I've been there 5 years, and currently I'm a producer. That's my status, and I have a team of over 450 people right now. And I've achieved some cool things, like the necklace I'm wearing was named after me. I really worked my butt off in a contest last year to have a necklace named after me. So I like hard work. I like achieving things, okay? And so I had a few hurdles when I started this company, and one of them was I moved to Las Vegas. I didn't know anybody. How do you start a direct sales company? And it's called relationship marketing, right? It's all about knowing people and stuff. It's like I didn't know anybody, so that was a hurdle. I had to really get out there and meet people. My second hurdle was I had to develop training for my team. I started growing a team, and I had to train them. There was no training because the company was so new, so I had to develop training. So I looked all over for training because I really want to make this work. And believe me, I found out when you start training, your team starts working and you work it and your numbers go up. And I actually got promoted again to producer this 2 months ago. So it does work if you work it. It works if you work it. But one thing I found out when I started training was they don't teach you in high school how to work a network marketing company or direct sales or MLM, whatever you want to call it. They don't teach you that in high school. They don't teach you that in college. They teach you how to work a 40-hour-a-week job and go out and work, 40 years to retire 40%. That's what you're taught, right? So then I would get all these new people, and they're like, oh my gosh, I don't know how to talk to people. I don't know how to do this, and I don't know how to do that. So researching, and I came up with an amazing program called 15 Minutes to Success, okay? This is if you spend 15 minutes or more a day on your business, statistically proven, doing the right activities, you will start to have success in your business. You can start building your business in 15-minute chunks, and you can be very successful doing this. And I'm going to tell you why, and I'm going to give you an example. So say you want to lose weight, you need to lose 40 pounds. What are you going to do? You're going to start working out slowly, 15, 20 minutes a day, changing your eating habits. And it's a work in progress, right? It's not going to happen overnight. And it's the same thing with your business. It's don't happen overnight. It's something you got to work on. And you could do it 15 minutes a day. Doing what? Talking and inviting. Inviting to what? Inviting them to look at your website, to watch a video, to come to a party. Maybe you're having a live Facebook party, but you got to do it. You got to talk to them. You got to call them. You got to pick up that 400-pound phone. You have to call them in this 15 minutes of time, or in person. You got to talk, okay? And like I said, it's inviting, talking and inviting. And how are you going to do that? You're going to schedule it in. You're going to take your calendar and you're going to mark off what you do normally in a normal day. Like if you work 40 hours a week, mark that time off. You have 15 minutes at night to talk to people instead of watching American Idol or playing on Facebook. You have 15 minutes of a laser clear focus, sitting at your desk, calling and inviting and talking to people about your business. And I have a lot of girls on my team that have that fear of speaking to people. So this is a sentence we use. Hey, you're my friend, Delinda. I just want you to know what I'm doing. I just want you to know what I'm doing. Hey, you're my friend, Judy. I just want you to know what I'm doing. Hey, you're my mom. I just want you to know what I'm doing. We use that line because it's not pushy. I'm not a pushy salesperson, but everybody in the world should know your business. They should know what you're doing. And maybe they're not interested in it, but it's planting seeds because they know somebody who loves, like my business is jewelry. Or they know somebody who's looking to work from home. It's planting seeds with that one little sentence. Hey, you're my blank. I just want you to know what I'm doing. That's the best way of getting your business out there without being pushy. 15 minutes a day, little chunks, and you will see success. Think if you get to talk to one person or two people, one person a day, that's 30 people a month. Two people, 60 people a month. Talk to a few more a day. You're going to see huge results in your business. Maybe they hate it. Maybe they hate jewelry. They hate what you're selling. So what? Maybe I hate what they're selling. But you just want them to know what you're doing, because if somebody might be looking for a jewelry person or a vendor, or they want a home party, or they need to make money, that's the perfect line. It's just planting seeds and planting seeds and planting seeds. But the best thing I could tell you is your business takes time. And if you work it in little 15 minutes chunks with that laser clear focus on your business a day, instead of wait till Saturday and say, I'll call everybody on Saturday and spend 2 hours. You won't do it. You won't do it. You won't call them. So do it little 15-minute chunks. Put it on your calendar, and you will see success in your company. That's with an MLM and direct sales. I hope that could help everybody a little bit in their business out there, but it's really working for my team. Okay, it's, you know, that old saying, when your mouth is closed, your office is closed. And just using that little sentence every day. Hey, you're my blank. I just want you to know what I'm doing. And no matter what business you're in, everybody should know, right? What if you're an electrician and somebody might need an electrician? They'll think of you. So that's planting seeds. Okay. That's all I have. Thank you so much for listening. And I have a little video about 15 minutes to your success for free. I made it just for my team, but I'm going to share it with you guys if you want it. My email's on the side. Just email me and I'll send you my 15 minutes to success video. Okay. Any questions about that?
Boy, girl, you can talk fast. I thought I was a fast talker.
No, I told you I would be done in less than 15 minutes.
Yes, you did. You did. So because you did finish early, so Michelle, just go back and there must be a couple of other things. I do love your phrase. I mean, and it does make it easy. Do you find that in your business, when you're bringing new team members on, when they have a script, when they have something in front of them that they can start with, that really does help? So, you know,
Absolutely.
you're all about building a team. And so any other little things like that for those who are, and they're doing, maybe they're already, you know, in a direct sale type of business and they want to build a team, but they're not really sure how to do that because you're really a pro at that. So any other little advice you could offer?
Yeah, I have actually a YouTube channel with tons of training and even ones like how to talk to your customers, words to say, all kind of sponsoring tips, sales tips too. So it's just being consistent too. You know, you work that little bit every day. If I talk to 2 or 3 people, my business grows. You know, if I talk to them about anything, it's just being consistent, and 15 minutes a day will keep you consistent instead of blowing it off.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And I loved what you were talking about on your calendar, because I have found that same thing when working with people is that we look at our calendar and what we see is, well, I'm working these hours for somebody else. A lot of times people start direct sales and they're still working for somebody else, either full-time or part-time. And they're thinking, well, gosh, I just, you know, I don't have time to do that. And so I love your idea of the 15 minutes a day. But they look at it and say, well, I'm working all this time, and then, you know, this is when I meet my kids after school, and this is, you know, but if they literally will put it on a calendar, and ideally a calendar that has 15-minute segments. I mean, that's the best, because then when you go in and you put your time in, then I like to use colors, and I would either use pink or green and put a box around the 15-minute or the 30-minute time slots, because then all of a sudden those time slots jump out. And
right.
You say, okay, and so when somebody is looking and say, okay, I've got actually 2 15-minute slots that I could give to my business today. What I find what holds them back is not, okay, here it is, what do I do with that? So what do you suggest then? How to use that 15 minutes to their best advantage?
They got to have a laser clear focus, not where they're cooking dinner or anything. You got to schedule it in. Like, okay, I'm not going to watch American Idol tonight.
Right.
Or right after it's over, the 15 minutes. It's got to be written down. That's the only way I follow through stuff. If it's written down on my calendar and I check it off, I have to check it off. And that's the only way I follow through.
Mm-hmm.
So use that calendar for your Bible.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, I love that. And so when you, because there's a step in between, and I know you do it, but it's so natural to you now. So you see this 15 minutes, you're going in your office or where you're going to, what are you going to do first? Do you have a list that these are the people you want to call? How do you know, what am I going to do? I'm sitting here at my desk. What am I going to do with this 15 minutes?
You're going to start with your warm market. You're everybody you know. They say you know 1,000 people by first name. And then I work a lot of events, so I always have leads. I have lots of leads. I'm always working from my lead sheets because I do lots of events. So I always have somebody interested in buying something or signing up or something. So I work from lead sheets a lot. Okay,
that's awesome. So it's just, so part of the efficiency of using that 15 minutes is really being prepared to know what you're going to do with that 15. So having your lead sheets or your list of people you met at the last networking group or the business cards that you collected or something. Is that right? That preparation ahead?
Yes, yes. I always keep tons of prospects, leads. Tons of prospects.
And Michelle, so let's say that I came to one of your things and I filled out a lead sheet. What is, because I think this helps people hear you actually go through the scenario of it. Because many people find that the scary part. They don't want to pick up the phone. They don't know what they're going to say. So you just met me. What would you say to me, like off of your lead sheet? What is a script that you do?
I would say, hey, Delinda, this is Michelle McLeod. I met you yesterday at the job fair, and I'm just following up with you. You said you wanted some more information about our company, so I'm just following up per your request. Do you have any questions for me? So that's what I say to my leads. Or, they check a box. They'll say, some will say, okay, this one wants to host a party. So I call her, you check the box on, you want to host a party. And then I have people interested in the business. So I'm calling them to see if they, can I send you my video about why you should be a paparazzi consultant? Send them into your system. That's what I do. Send them into my system. Can I show you my website? I've already probably talked to these people in person. That's how I got their number and stuff.
Right. So when you call, they're not surprised because they filled out the form. And so they've already given you permission to call.
Yes.
So that's what lead sheets are really nice to have.
Yes.
Great. Well, that is awesome. Thank you so much. So if anybody has a question, you can go over to the chat box and write Michelle a question. And right now you can still see her information. And if you contact her, she will send you that video. Right? That's what you said, Michelle. You'll send them.
Yes, I have. Yeah, I made a video. It's called 15 Minutes to Your Success. And just shoot me an email and I'll send it to you. Okay?
Well, yay! Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Great job. And so far, you're the only person that talks as fast as I do. So we may find somebody else. We're like, okay, that's great. But wonderful job. Thank you so much. And Sandy, you've joined us. Yay! Hi there. Let me unmute you so you can say a quick hi. There you go. Oops. So, hey, if you'll say a quick hi and tell us just like your 1 minute, what do you do? And what's a little something to preview what you're going to talk about later?
Okay, awesome. Well, I am Sandy Tabola, and that's my favorite role right there. And a sweet husband. And I have been on a health journey my entire life. I'll talk more about that. But that's my biggest now is others to be on their journey as well. And then I also volunteer for Refuge for Women and help women that have been rescued out of sex trafficking and to reestablish their life and identity. Mm-hmm. That's what I do.
Yes, and it was so great. Sandy shared that with a lady from there at our last month's Fun Fearless Female event in Las Vegas, our luncheon, and just such a great thing. It was so just wonderful hearing about it and the work that's being done there. Refuge for Women, is that right? Did I say that right? Okay, and
then my business, the company I'm with is the US company.
Yeah, and the company you're with is yeah, you're fading in and out on me. I don't know if anybody else. So kind of check our connection there. Okay, cool. Well, we're going to move on to our next speaker, which is Debbie. So Sandy, we'll hear back from you in a little bit. And Debbie, I'm going to unmute, or I guess you're unmuted. So tell us about you. Share your info.
All right. Well, thanks for having me, Delinda. And great job, Michelle. So I'm going to be moving fast too. I have a lot of information to share, so take your notes, but if you miss anything, just email me and I'm happy to fill in the blanks. So my name's Debbie Luxton. I'm owner of One Life to Thrive. I'm a professionally trained life coach and a John Maxwell team founding partner and leadership coach. I'm an author and a retreat leader. I help women thrive as godly leaders so they can have the impact that God created and designed them for. This, of course, requires healthy boundaries, and that's what I'm going to share with you on. But first, I want to tell you a little bit about myself. So I'm retired from a 30-year corporate career where I specialized in organizational development. My husband and I have led a Celebrate Recovery ministry since 2006. I'm the mother of 5 and currently the grandmother of 12.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and that's 2 that haven't had any yet. I serve on the executive board of directors for the Christian Coaches Network International, and I'm president for the St. Louis chapter of the International Association of Women. So my goal in telling you all that is not to give you my resume, but to help you understand that I get healthy boundaries from many perspectives. I've lived without healthy boundaries, and I've experienced the chaos that comes with that. Now, that's all been a long time ago, but I learned the hard way why healthy boundaries are necessary in every part of life. So tonight, I want to raise your awareness and provide you with tips that will help you avoid and eliminate the chaos in your life. So let's start with a definition. A boundary is healthy when you apply intentionality to it. So that means that you plan for your implementation of it, for your maintenance of it. You're prayerful about your ability to follow through with the boundary. You properly communicate it to those with the need to know. You engage prayer partners ongoing. You use accountability partners to keep you on track. So all this adds up to you're doing all you can to set yourself up for success. The difference between a healthy boundary and any other boundary is where you've been intentional. Because if you haven't been intentional about it and you just set it, and we're going to talk about some of this stuff later, you can do more harm than good. So it's really important. There are 4 types of boundaries. So there's words, there's physical distance, time, and emotional distance. So with words, your words obviously can define who you are, who you're not, what you like, what you don't like. Physical distance, that one's easy because we can see it. We can see that we're not going in somewhere or going over there or the fence between our yard and our neighbor's yard. Time, who you'll spend it with, what you'll spend it on. Time is critical because that is the most valuable resource we have that's non-renewable. And then emotional distance is a boundary that women use far too often, and we leave it in place for far too long many times. So examples are not responding and making communication difficult, or withholding intimacy. And emotional distance is something that is often a result of us making assumptions and then letting those assumptions drive our emotions. So something we have to be careful with. Where do we use boundaries? Let's take a look at that. Obviously, and this is a big one in the world we live in right now, is our safety, right? Also, we need boundaries to stay healthy in our mind, body, and spirit, to honor our priorities, to improve our quality of life, and most importantly is to live true to our core values. We live in a world of mass distraction. Everything is seemingly urgent. And I hope you'll write that down. Seemingly urgent. Just because someone says it's urgent does not necessarily mean it's urgent for you. So that's important to remember. Okay, 4 categories of boundaries we're going to take a look at. These are people, places, things, and career. So people. Well, I have friends that I love dearly, and so do you. But some of those friends can make unhealthy requests. They can rob us of vital time and energy, so we need to know our boundaries with certain people. And along with people comes drama. What happens with drama? It sucks the life out of all of us. So we need to use our boundaries and stay out of other people's drama. Places. We want to be very aware of places that may not be healthy for us. So, for example, let's say that you're working on your health. Could be because you need to for health reasons, or because you need to lose weight, you want to lose weight, whatever the case may be. Then you wouldn't plan to meet a client somewhere that's going to cause you to go off the deep end with the food that you order. I thought of the Cheesecake Factory when I say that. And here's another one. Now, maybe you struggle with alcohol. Well, you don't plan client meetings then at establishments that are going to tempt you in that way. So just be aware of places. And then things. Well, we all understand and hopefully recognize the difference between needing something and wanting something. Now, we know this, but we don't always like it. But that's another area that we need to exercise boundaries. And remember that more things does not buy any one of us a thriving life. Career. So there's always going to be times when the job and the project require an abundance of your time and energy, but that should not go on and on and on to where it becomes the norm for you. The other thing is, even during these heightened times, you are in the driver's seat, or you should be. If the job or project is driving you, then you're not going to have harmony in your life. And that's really what healthy boundaries are all about. That's the result of healthy boundaries, is a harmonious life. Now I want to go through 7 key points regarding healthy boundaries. So the first one, I'll say this twice because it's long. The first one is the demonstration of your love for others, especially your family, is greatest when you are exercising healthy boundaries. Say that again. The demonstration of your love for others, especially your family, is greatest when you are exercising healthy boundaries. So this means that you understand that establishing and sticking to your boundaries is not selfish. And that can be a hard thing. That's one of the reasons that accountability partners, wise people in your life to share with, is really important. Number 2, people do not fix people. We are all responsible to others, and we are responsible for ourselves. So the words to pay attention to there are, we are responsible to others, not for others. And we are responsible for ourselves. And this means you do not own the choices of another person. We care for others as God directs us in His Word, but we don't own their choices, nor do we own the consequences of their choices. And, you know, I'd ask you to remember that as long as you're trying to fix someone else, the reality is that you will have chaos and a lack of peace in your life. Again, number 2, people don't fix people. Number 3, no is a good word, and no is a complete sentence. This is one of my favorites, obviously. Oh, no is the most basic boundary setting word, but we don't use it often enough. You must use your mouth to say the word no, but you also have to use your actions to exercise your no. So number 3 is about no. Number 4, you always have a choice. Don't stay in denial thinking that tries to convince you you don't have choices. That simply isn't true. You know, we want to say we don't have a choice when it comes to certain projects at work or certain things in our business or our families, but we have a choice every day where we spend every moment of the day. And actually, Michelle talked about that when she talked about the calendar and doing the colors. I wanted to put up mine. Can you see that? I have lots of colors. So, and those colors represent projects, things that I'm working on. So we do have choices. Number 5, healthy boundaries are based on pure motives. You set your boundaries based on facts, not hearsay or assumptions. Properly communicated, because boundaries rarely succeed in a vacuum. It's important that if you're setting a boundary, let's say I use the example of weight, and so you're going to exercise and you're going to watch what you're eating, have accountability partners to help you with that. If you're going to set a boundary that is got to do with another person, it's important that that person knows what that boundary is. So don't set it in a vacuum and just expect that to work. Again, and this relates to the one I talked about with people don't fix people. If your motive is to change another person, you're setting yourself up for a painful outcome. We have to leave the changing of others to God and stay focused on ourselves. Very important. Number 6 is emotional distance is not a long-term healthy boundary. So again, emotional distance is when we shut down, we don't communicate properly. But what we often try to do with emotional distance is send a lot of unspoken messages. And There are times when emotional distance can be needed for a short-term solution, but it should never be permanent. Emotional distance erects walls that result in division, hard feelings, and hurt, and we have to be very careful with this particular boundary. It is a type of boundary, but it's never long-term. Number 7 is your legacy will reflect the healthy boundaries in your life. So within this item, I would say that maintaining healthy boundaries is a priority. They really aren't optional. And you always want to check your heart. And so there's an acronym for the word heart before you set boundaries. Are you hurting? Are you exhausted? Are you angry? Are you resentful? Are you tense? All of these things are reflected in our legacies. And again, on heart, that was hurting, exhausted, angry, resentful, and tense. And then the last item under this one is to remember that healthy boundaries are biblical. They are not selfish, and you should not feel guilty. They are about self-control. Titus 2:12 says, "And we are instructed to turn from godless living and sinful pleasures. We should live in this evil world with wisdom, righteousness, and devotion to God." We're not going to be able to do that unless we have healthy boundaries in our life. Let's see. Just a reminder to stay aware that boundaries can be more harmful than good. Again, that goes back to that heart thing. And there's really 2 things with that. Checking your motives is just huge. And then following a process, meaning, again, that you do it with great intentionality. I actually use a healthy boundaries worksheet with my clients. And that's going to be my freebie tonight if you email me. It'll take you through thinking through the boundary that you're setting so that you can be very intentional with it. And that's really it. Any questions I can answer?
Yeah, everybody, if anyone has a question, you can post it in the chat box and Debbie can take a look at that and answer for you. Some great information there. Debbie, I was like taking all these notes so I didn't want to miss anything. And I think sometimes we think that, I never really looked at it, the number of boundaries, kind of you just think, I more often think of my time boundaries because that can be one where, for me to decide my own time boundaries of how I spend time with who and that type of thing. But these others that you pointed out really are great. So thank you so much for that. I really appreciate it. And I don't see any comments here. Let's see.
I got one, but I'm answering it.
Okay, good. All right.
She wanted to know where to get that.
Worksheet.
Okay, a healthy boundaries worksheet.
Yeah, and then we will post again towards the end to make sure everybody has all 4 speakers their info as we go along. So, all right, cool. Thank you so much. Well, next we have our technology expert. So if you've ever had that feeling of I want to throw the computer out of the window, I think Burton can help you, right, Burton? Thanks, Deb.
I think so. I kind of excel at helping people at technology. So
yeah, I heard Burton speak at a luncheon several months ago, and I was just so impressed with the information. Again, he gave so much information. I went home and actually made several changes based on the talk that he gave. So I know that you're gonna really.
So what changes did you make?
I don't want to tell you.
Oh, okay. You must have done everything on the list wrong. So
as far
as using the same password and everything. So
some of it was a great affirmation that I was doing more things right than I knew I was. But the one about making sure that I have using on the email thing of using not using my Gmail for all my business stuff.
Oh, that's a big one. A lot of people are guilty of using free email for their businesses. It's horrible, especially now. And I guess one of the things that's a hot topic is Oath has taken over Yahoo and Huffington Post, and they've sent out their terms of service, which has a lot of people frightened because basically Oath wants to make their privacy terms transparent, letting everyone know that they're going to spy on your information. So people are like, what do I do now? It's like, well, You can either use Oath and continue to use your Yahoo account and the other services they use, or you can switch to somebody else. But the challenge with that is with all free email services and with social media sites, they're spying on your information. So, I mean, what do you get to do, right?
Right. And are you going to tell us?
No, I'm going to make you guys guess. No.
Okay.
Well, one of the things we're talking about 6 tech tips to help keep you safe online and to make you hacker proof. So one of the best pieces of advice I could give out is to make sure that you're using safe and secure passwords, because passwords are your first defense against any hacking scheme that goes out there. A lot of cyber criminals count on making sure or seeing that you're using the same passwords for all of your online accounts. So the first step of that is just to make sure that you're using a nice, good password. And password should be at least 8 characters long with a combination of uppercase letters and lowercase numbers and special characters. But one of the things that people fall victim of is that they use the same passwords for all of their online accounts. And it causes problems because if a hacker finds one password, and they usually start small, so they'll start with your social media account, and then they'll graduate. They'll start logging on to popular financial sites to see if your email password combination worked. If it worked on Facebook, maybe it'll work on your Bank of America account or other financial accounts. And once they're in, then they're able to access all of your information. So it's important to keep all your passwords different. And to make that easy, there are a couple of tools that you can use. I'm going to switch screens here and get to my non-messy desktop and show you some things that you can use. So one of the first tools that you can use to keep your passwords nice and simple is a website called LastPass. Now what LastPass does is it's a password keeper. So it allows you to put all of those online accounts, as you can see here on the screen, like your Facebook, Amazon, and even your Salesforce account under one account. So all of your accounts have different passwords. And so from all of your devices, you can automatically log on to all of your online accounts, having peace of mind of knowing that each account is logging on with a secure password. Same thing with 1Pass. It's another password keeper utility that allows you to log on to all of your online accounts using different passwords. It's free and it will go across all of your devices. So that's one way to make sure that your passwords are safe and sound, and it's also an easy way to keep multiple passwords for all of your online accounts. So you really need to stay on top of your passwords and keep secure, because that's how most people get hacked. Now, the next piece of advice I'm going to give is making sure that you're using two-step authentication. Now, most sites offer two-step authentication, and to make it simple, all it is you put in a backup way to notify you that someone's logging into your account. Most online accounts use your cell phone number, so when you log into Facebook or even your bank, you'll get a text alert letting you know that you're accessing that account. Now, if a hacker happens to get your password information and you've got two-step authentication set up, then you can be notified if someone's trying to access your account or if they've logged into your account. So it's very important to set up two-step authentication, because without it, someone can log into your account and you wouldn't even know how to do it. Like I said, most online accounts offer two-step authentication. So go into all of your online accounts and make sure that you set this process up so you'll get notified if someone happens to hack into your online account. Next thing you want to do is you want to delete all of your old online accounts. And you may think, well, why do I need to delete those accounts? Well, hackers can get into those accounts and set up bogus accounts under your old web-based email accounts. So let's say you have an old MSN account or Hotmail account or even a Yahoo account. Hackers can get access to that information, and they can set up bogus accounts. They can start the process of identity theft using those online accounts. Now, what can you do to eliminate those accounts? Well, luckily there's a free website that I'm going to pull up called Account Killer. Let me share my screen here. Okay, Account Killer is a site that you can go in and you can disable all of your online accounts from one simple website. Some will actually go into your account and delete them. Others will give you step-by-step instructions on how you can delete all of those online accounts. And I know many of us out there have set up online accounts and we forget about them. So if you use Account Killer, you can definitely go in, look at those old online accounts and delete it, because a part of the process of identity theft is setting up email accounts, and you want to make sure that you have a good handle on your identity. Next step is to make sure that you have not been a victim of an online breach. And there's a great website that I have to pull up. And I thought I already had it going, but I guess I didn't. But let's see. It's called Have I Been Pawned? And it's a great website to see if you have become a victim of a data breach. And there's a Have I Been Pawned? So what you would do, and I'm going to use an email address that I know that has already been part of a data breach, and it's a Yahoo account. So what you do is you put your email address into the search engine on Have I Been Pawned? And just for those of you out there, what the heck is pawned? Well, pawned is a misspelling of owned. A hacker years ago was trying to type in, "You've been owned" on a gaming website, and they accidentally hit the P key instead of the O key. So hence the word pawned came out. So basically it's hacker speak for have I been owned. But going back to have I been pawned, what you would do is you would put in your email account information, click on the word pawned, and after a few seconds, it will let you know if your email account has been hacked. And I think this one has been resolved. Actually, I take that back. That's the wrong email address because there's no such email. So let's do this one. All right, so let's see if it's been pawned. And uh-oh, I've been pawned. As you can see, I get tips. Of course, I have been pawned is telling me to use 1Password. And if you scroll through the list, you can see what breach this email was a part of. So you can put in your own email address and find out if your email has been victim of a data breach. And why is that important? Because most of us use our online accounts to our online email addresses to access our online accounts. So going back to what I said earlier, if you have an email that's been hacked and you've been using the same password with that online account, chances are not only does the hacker have access to your email, but they also probably have access to your social media account and your banking account too. So if you type in your email address tonight and find out that you've been pawned, you probably better go in and change some of those accounts' passwords. Next on the list is make sure that you lock down all your social media accounts. Probably one of the best and popular social media accounts out there is Facebook. So let's go back to screen share and take a look at my Facebook account. Now, obviously, this is a feeble attempt for you to go and like my Facebook page, but in all actuality, I'm going to go in to show you how to block out your Facebook account so people can't have access to it. So what you want to do is you want to go into the settings, and you can do this from any device. So once you go into settings, you want to go into privacy. Once you're under privacy, the things that you want to focus on is who can look you up using your email address, and you want friends only. As far as your friend list is concerned, you want to choose only me. Now, why is this? Well, if hackers can see your online Facebook account from Google, they can take a look at your friends list, create a duplicate Facebook account of you, and then contact your friends, sending them bogus information. So you want to make sure to protect yourself and to protect your friends that you only allow your you or your friends list to be seen only by you and not anyone else. The other thing that you want to do to protect your Facebook account is to make sure that search engines outside of Facebook can't have a link to your profile. Now, if search engines outside of Facebook can see your Facebook profile, that means hackers or anyone else can just Google you, find out that you have a Facebook account. with this feature enabled, and I have mine enabled, hackers can build a profile of you and start the process of identity theft. So most of you out there, you do want to go in and make sure that search engines outside of Facebook cannot find you. Some of the other things that you might want to change is making sure that your posts go from public to private. And also, too, who can send you friend requests? You want to change this so that it's friends of friends. Under most circumstances, it's everyone. But if you want to keep a secured account, you don't want everyone to see your Facebook account. And then finally, under Facebook, one of the things that they have changed is under apps and websites. Now, the way this works is that apps under Facebook integrate with Facebook, and that's how, with this Cambridge Analytica hack, they were able to get your personal information. So be careful which apps you allow to interact with Facebook. Going back to our screen share here, if we choose, say, Spotify, you can see the information that Spotify has. And I have this set only for me, and that's what you should set your settings to as well, because you may not want Spotify getting your personal information. So be sure to go into your apps and make sure that you aren't sharing unknown information from being seen from outside parties. And finally, to make sure that other websites aren't spying on you, you probably should go through the process of blocking your cookies and making sure that your browsing is kept safe. How can you do that? Pretty darn simple. What you need to do is go to your favorite browser, and I'll try to show you on each browser how to do it. Each browser has a feature called either incognito or in private browsing. If you enter this feature or enable this feature, you can browse without other sites gathering information. What happens is that sites like Facebook, Google, and other websites out there will look at your cookies from your web browser. Cookies are designed to allow sites to come up a lot easier on your computer. But the bad thing is that they hang around and other websites are able to spy on your cookies, which explains why if you do a search for a topic online and then you get an ad on Facebook, it's because Facebook is looking at your browser history and seeing what sites you're looking at. And of course, they're selling that information to third-party vendors. So if you choose incognito browsing, which this is Chrome that I'm looking at, you can go incognito and do a search without worrying if websites are browsing and looking at your cookies. If you're using Firefox, it's pretty simple. You can just go to File, and you can go New Private Window. And as you can see, you can open up a private window without being seen. For you Windows users using Microsoft Edge, it's pretty simple. You can just click on the menu bar in the upper right-hand corner, and you just want to go New in Private Window, which offers in private browsing. And last but not least, Opera is the browser that you can use that hardly anyone uses, but it also has a private feature as well. So you just go to New Private Window, and lo and behold, you're surfing privately with Opera. And one last thing that you can do to clear out those cookies, if you forget to go into in private browsing, there's a great utility out there for both Windows and Mac and Android smartphones called CCleaner. Now, let me bring up CCleaner so that you'll go to the right website and not get hacked. Let's go back to screen sharing. Okay, here we go. And let's go. So CCleaner, you can just go to ccleaner.com, and it's available for both Windows, Mac, and Android products. I've got CCleaner actually installed on this Windows computer. So let me bring up CCleaner, and I'll show you how it works. Once you download CCleaner, it's a pretty simple process. I'm not going to update it now. All you do is it'll have a list of your browsers. You just run cleaner, and it'll automatically clean out all those pesky cookies, as you can see here on for each of your browsers. And that way you can make sure that no one is looking at your cookies and getting your personal information. So you can do in private browsing, you can do cookies to hide your cookies, or you can just go in and run CCleaner on your Windows, Mac, or Android phone, and make sure that no one is surfing or spying on your surfing habits. Now, I know you Mac users out there are probably like, why didn't you show Safari? Is it because you're on a Windows computer? No. Lucky for you, if you use Safari as a browser, the cookie feature is already disabled. So you don't have to, even though you have CCleaner on your Mac, or not CCleaner, although you have Safari on your Mac, you can run it and not worry about cookies. But in the chance that you're using Chrome or Firefox, you probably should run CCleaner. But if you're a Mac user, you can use Safari and not worry about anyone spying on your cookies, which is pretty darn. So I think those are the 6 tech tips that I have to share. Does anyone have any questions they want to type out, or anything anyone want to interject or ask anything? Delinda, you look like you want to ask something.
Gosh, it's like, well, I'm kind of making sure. I heard some background noise, so I was making sure I had everybody muted. I was getting some sound coming in.
I think that was coming from you, I don't think anyone else. Don't blame anyone. Yeah.
Stop it. Wow. I mean, and you went through some amazing material there. I'm hoping I can remember this. I'm a Mac and I do have Safari, but I don't like Safari, so I don't use it. So I'm thinking maybe I should use Safari, because some of my banking won't work with Safari. So I have to use Chrome or something, because it just won't let me do it.
Yeah, that's the challenge with Safari, is that a lot of Mac users use it, but at the same time, it's not a very compatible browser, which makes people switch to either Firefox or Chrome. And hence, if you use those browsers and you don't use the in-private browsing feature, then you would need to use a program like CCleaner to make sure that all those pesky cookies are off of your computer.
Absolutely. So you gave us so much information. When I start in doing this stuff, I know I'm going to have questions. I can just tell you, because I know enough information to be dangerous out there. So you do have your information up there. So if somebody wants to get a hold of you to get some more information or whatever, and you're going to send us something as a free gift, right? Like.
Yes, I will. As a free gift, if you call the office, you can get an hour of free computer tune-up. So.
Really?
Awesome. Really?
No, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like, I thought we were going to get a copy or something with your 6 tips. I mean, I wrote them down, but they're probably better. But this was great. Thank you so much, Burton, because these are really practical things that can really make a difference in our day-to-day life with using the computer.
Yeah. Now, if you, rather than looking at the notes, let me see if I can pull this up real quick. I do have a blog article about this, so let me pull that up. Go to blog. Let me go to share screen. That's a good way to highlight my company website, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm saying.
I know, isn't it right? So let's go back to the home screen so I can show that off. I know it's pretty bad PR, but anyway, there's a site for Integral Computer Consultants. So then the blog, or the tips that I shared, was part of our blog last week. So if you just go to blog, and after a few seconds, there you are. 6 steps to hacker-proof your life. Just click on it, and then there you have it.
Okay. Well, great. Well, thank you so much, because and I know there's many people who do really grasp all of that the first time, but I don't. It takes me more than one time. So I love the fact that I have a place to go back through that, again. And everybody, I am recording this session. It looks like it's going well this time. I did not get it recorded the last month. So this month, it looks like it's going pretty smooth. So thank you, Burton. Appreciate that.
No problem. Thank you.
We are going to go to Sandy. So Sandy, let me unmute you, darling. Here you go. Hi.
Hi there. Well, thank you very much. Oh my goodness. I have learned so much tonight from all of you. Thank you. It really has been great. Well, I am a certified health educator, and how I came about that was my background actually is youth ministry. I loved helping kids just impact their lives. That I was just a happy camper with my career. Never made more than about $800 a month, but I loved it. And then I had all kinds of health challenges. I was having kids at this point, and they had health challenges. And so I went back to school for nutrition and became as I had seen that nutrition had helped me, I was really curious and wanted to learn more. And I became a certified health educator. I absolutely love that now. That's kind of become my mission. I still love helping people with their souls, you know, taking care of the body that God gave them, though, is just a joy. Because I don't know about you, but I don't feel like praying, like doing much if I'm not feeling good. And so to be able to help people live to their best, you know, vitality and optimum health is what I love. My giveaways tonight will be 10 tips for optimum health. And also I have a Healthy Revolution, a cookbook to give you as well. So I am going to share my screen. I loved how seamlessly Burton did it. We'll see if I can. Okay, let's see if this pulls up good. Okay, awesome. So I'm going to do the slideshow. There we go. Can you all see that? Awesome. So which life are you designing? And what that comes from is this picture. This actually, if you look above my left shoulder, this hangs in my office. And this, I grew up with two grandmas who actually lived into their 90s, but they looked like this little lady on the left with the walker. And they had horrible quality of life. They were both about 50 when I was born, and they had just terrible quality of life. And I never wanted to do that. I didn't want to live like that. And these ladies are the same age, just about. And one of them is just getting out of the pool, and she's living a life that's vibrant. We cannot help how that we are all going to age, can we? But we have so much control over how we age. And the older I get, the more I feel like I'm just getting started. And I want to dance at my grandkids, maybe great grandkids' weddings. And so I want to take really good care of myself. And that's what I always tell my clients is you need a strong why before you make any big changes. You really do, because life just gets in the way. There's so many things that do, and convenience gets in the way. So having a really strong why. A client that was trying to make changes, she could not quit smoking. And her coach helped her tap into a why. She couldn't stop for herself. But she had a 4-year-old daughter that she knew she probably wouldn't live to see raised if she didn't quit smoking. And tapping into that why is how she was able to quit smoking. So that's very, very strong. We all need a really strong why. And there we go. These are my whys. Can you all see that? To my left is my husband. And I was sharing with you, I had some major health problems. I actually was in my early 30s and had no energy. I had chronic fatigue. I had chronic sinus problems, and my son in the back, the next picture are my kids. He was 10 and he had an ear infection for a solid year. And this one had already had tubes in his ears, and he was pretty sickly too. And so we all just felt horrible, and I felt ancient. I really did. I couldn't imagine living, into my 90s. Didn't have as good genes as my grandparents, my grandmas. So when I started seeing the miracle that nutrition is, the fruits, veggies, plants that God gave us, and I started feeling better, I have a lot of time to catch up for. And my husband and I have been married 8 years, and we have a lot of traveling and a lot of fun to do. So these are my why. And those are my kids and grandkids. And these are I'm trying to go back, the amazing people that I work with. And we're on a mission to help people live healthier, stronger, fuller lives. So there's two startling trends in our world. Don't you all agree that things aren't the way they used to be? Our environmental toxins are just increasing, aren't they? The soil, the air, what goes into the ground, our water, all of that. And The food, which used to help us detox from all of that, is the food quality is really decreasing with all the flavor enhancers and chemicals, preservatives, synthetic vitamins, the GMO, the genetically modified food. It is not our friend. Packaged processed foods are not our friend. And so I'm going to just start with the 10 tips, and I'm not probably going to go in order, but when I send them to you, they will be in order. But one of the most important things we can do is maintain a healthy weight to lower our risk of disease and cancer. And how are we going to do that? Well, I am going to get into that, but this is what happens because of all of the toxins that are in our environment, in our food. We are just toxic. And you can see here, this person is just toxic. Well, our body was created to be able to self-preserve. So what it does, there's one of two things that usually happen. Either we will hang on to fat because the fat will enshroud the toxins to save our organs. Is that pretty amazing? Or we can be thin. And we've all known thin people, so it's not just about weight. We've all known thin people that are sick, right? Get autoimmune or maybe cancer. So this is what I always did. I always struggled because I ate a turbo-boosted standard American diet growing up. And so I would gain weight, then I would burn the fat, and I would lose the weight, which is fine, but I didn't get rid of the toxins. And if we don't get rid of the toxins, we do one of two things. We stay thin and get sick, or we rebound. And my body was always very self-preserving, so it rebounded. And I did this yo-yo dieting year after year. And what I found when I started studying nutrition is there's a better way. And how we do that is through healthy food, and our bodies will detox. There are properties in fruits and vegetables, in plants, that turn toxins into a water-soluble substance so that they can wash out of the body. Drinking plenty of water, which we'll hit on all of that. And then we can shed the fat. It's not needed. I've had clients that were stuck in this, and they were doing hours of exercise a day and still struggling to lose weight. A very self-preserving body. Yet when they started doing this down here, they could actually decrease the amount of exercise. Didn't have to exercise like a maniac, just do it, moderately and lose weight and keep it off. So how do we do that? Well, then that's tip number 2. Consume a low-fat, high-oxidant, plant-based diet with at least 7 to 13 fruits and vegetables. I'm showing you the rainbow here. And when they say eat the rainbow, they don't mean Skittles. They mean all kinds of fruits, veggies, and the colors. And the reason why the colors are so important is because they are specific, target different organs of our body. Like we all know that the beta carotene tends to target our eyes, right? Other things too, but it's known for that. We need to eat those for that. And the red purples, the grapes, berry, tend to target our heart. So we need to have the wide variety, all of these things. The different colors are different phytochemicals. So you can see those. Plants help reduce acidity in our bodies and help the body become more alkaline. Cancer and disease cannot thrive in a slightly alkaline body. So add superfoods to your diet, such as sprouts, tempeh, raw seeds, green tea, ginger, onions, garlic, berries, grapes. Superfoods have been shown to be especially protective against cancer. And even so this shows you, this is just 400 of the over 12,000 phytochemicals they found in an apple. And they're small amounts of everything. We don't know what they do, and they keep finding more of them. We don't know what they do, but they do. And they need to work together. That's why taking vitamins isn't the answer. Actually eating the whole food. And the next thing is consume at least 45 grams of fiber a day. That probably sounds really high when you think about that the average American gets 11 grams of fiber a day. And we need soluble and insoluble. The insoluble scrubs the inside of the colon. And we need all that clean because we need the flora to grab the nutrients and get them through the other in the digestive or the intestinal tract, right? And so we need it clean. And then what the soluble fiber does is it sops up the toxins and gets rid of it. And we want to get rid of those toxins. So we're going to need a lot of fiber. And fiber aids just aren't going to help you. It's really important to have, fiber aids like Metamucil. It's important to eat the fiber. Okay, and then greatly decrease the acidic foods, such as animal protein and dairy. So you can see here all the different, I actually like the Choose My Food plate because it tells you half of your plate at least should be fruits and veggies. And then some of these grains, for the grains, can be like quinoa, millet, amaranth, some of the ones we don't normally eat because we can all get a wheat sensitivity if we eat too much wheat. And then also, and what I like about quinoa is it has more protein and more fiber than wheat does. And then even this protein down here, it can be plant-based. We don't need to eat as much animal as we do because animal is highly acidic. So we want to avoid highly acidic foods. Now, I encourage people to grow your own fruits and veggies. And so the only company that I really do recommend and I kind of align myself with is the Juice Plus company. They actually sell a tower garden, which is just an aeroponic garden to be able to grow your own. And I'm not here to sell any of this. I'm just going to wheeze through this because it's fine. You choose. If you struggle to get 7 to 13 servings of fruits and veggies, you can find a whole food supplement that's plant-based. But it's just challenging. You need to find one that has good research. And that's why I love this one. And you can see you've got the rainbow, all the different colors. And there's even an omega. So we have the plant powders and then plant oils that gives you the full spectrum of plant. It really takes the place of fish oil. This shows you there's actually 38 studies now that are independent and done and all over the world. And then this is a shake mix. Again, you can use any whole food shake mix because I think sometimes it's great to have a high protein, high fiber. In this particular one, there's 8 grams of fiber for breakfast or a snack. And so that's awesome. One of the things that it does is, if you find a good one, is it will help regulate your blood sugar. And I had hypoglycemia out really badly. And so I just love doing a high fiber plant-based shake that will help keep my keep my blood sugar in this zone of willpower. Because you know how when we eat something like a pastry or even a muffin, our body, the blood sugar kind of spikes and then it crashes. And it's down here in this crashing that we're wanting Snickers. We don't care about that diet. So we need all the help we can get. And I think breakfast for me was always the hardest. And so I do a shake every morning. And I told you I've been married 8 years and my husband has rarely missed one. He was always a breakfast skipper. And they've even found that skipping breakfast, or skipping a meal, especially for men, can shorten their lifespan. So you ladies have men that you want to take care of and yourselves too. Make sure you're not skipping, especially the most important meal of the day, but any meal. Okay, and then there's a program that I recommend to my clients, and it's called Shred 10. And the focus of it is adding more real food, taking the whole food, flooding their body with whole food plants, and doing the shakes this is a 10-day program. And what it does, and you're flooding your body with water, what it does is it just does a reset. And it is a healthy detox, and it helps shred the bad habits. And I even, as committed as I am, I fall into some bad habits. One of my bad habits is eating too late and snacking. we'll be sitting and we're snacking on popcorn and too late, and that's not good. And so I'll go through this again and then I'll explain it. So making sure that you're getting plenty of water, and that is actually my tip number 5, is make sure you're getting about half your body weight in ounces of water a day. No matter, no matter what. That's so important. I carry it with me, and that's why, that's how I get it in. Sleep 7 to 8 hours, exercise most days, eliminate, oops, I went way forward. Eliminate, for those 10 days anyway, gluten, dairy, caffeine, and alcohol. And the reason is these are really, really inflammatory. And so, and toxic. If you're trying to decrease the amount of toxic load, you don't want to be doing these foods. And we can do everything for 10 days, right? Anything for 10 days. And when I do it with we do it in groups, and we'll do it in a private Facebook event. And we can encourage each other and do it, but we only do it over one weekend. So that's another thing, is we say it's just one weekend. But so getting rid of these, and then a lot of times you break the cycle of these and don't need at least as much of them. And then processed foods, eliminating those. Artificial and refined sugars, eliminating those, and eating after 6 p.m. And of course, those of us in Las Vegas, we're in a 24-hour town, and so it depends when you go to bed, but you just want to fast in the middle of the night, and really we should do, or while you're sleeping, for about 13 hours. Because that's when your body repairs and the growth hormones flood your body and helps you feel younger, and repairs and does what it's supposed to do. And so those are guidelines. But we recommend the Live It guidelines, and this is number 6, is to eliminate the consumption of sugar, because cancer and bacteria, as well as candida, thrive on sugar. So really cutting that down, using stevia or even a little bit of honey, which honey is a sugar, but it's not as addictive as white sugar. So you can put a little bit in that and, give yourself that, but no, I do not recommend artificial sweeteners. They will keep your sugar cravings high, and they kill brain cells. Splenda is chlorinated sugar, and aspartame actually is a neurotoxin that excites the neurons in the brain, and they die. And that would be okay with some brain cells, but neurons, we're born with the amount of neurons we're going to have the rest of our life. And all the Diet Coke I ate, I drank, it's a wonder I have any neurons left in my brain. But I'm going to protect the ones that I have. MSG, aspartame, those are the things that are neurotoxins. Okay, and then the positive benefits of...
Okay, Sandy. Hey, I hate to interrupt you here. You are doing such an amazing job, but we are going over our time here.
Oh, I'm done. This is the next to last slide. So these are the benefits of exercising and the important. And again, just back to that why, it comes down to one simple thing: how badly do you want it?
Yeah.
And then getting a buddy, just that accountability and that support. So that's it. I'm going to stop share.
Oh my gosh. I tell you, you guys all just gave us such great information tonight. I'm so glad that the recording is going.
And actually, Delinda, I did that in 15 minutes.
Huh?
I started at 7, so that was 15 minutes.
Oh, well, because anyway, but the, just the information, and you're going to send them something on that, right? You're going to send those tips?
Anyone who contacts me, I'd love to send you these tips, and I'm not sure I got through all of them. And then also the cookbook. It's a good one.
Yeah, well, that sounds great. And the I think there's just so many things to learn, and you obviously are very passionate about what you do, which I love. I think that's so amazing. And actually, all 4 of you tonight you love what you do. You love how you're working with other people and sharing. And we do I always like to make sure we have some time at the end. So any of our listeners or those of you that are watching out there, do you have some questions that you might want to post for any of the speakers tonight? So if you want to post anything, we have a few minutes left here to do that. So I would love to hear from you, those of you listening in. Any comments or questions that you'd like to put out there? And we'll just kind of get this and see. And I want to make sure too that I got to say hello to everybody. So there's Tracy and Judy and Mark. Lisa, there you go, Kristen. All right. I think what's nice is to see how, as we relate with each other and get to know each other, we can learn so much with how to work as a team together, whether it's in a working situation like with Michelle, and keeping those kind of boundaries. And especially if you are growing a business, I think it's really important in an in-business home, learning to set those boundaries so that you actually can take your 15 minutes or whatever time you want to alert to working, and make sure that that time that you're going to spend is going to be very productive time. And of course, taking care of our bodies is just crucial. I've been lucky not to have a lot of health issues, but I have so many friends who have. And of course, Sandy, you were telling us about, that you suffered with various, physical things, and how good nutrition has really made a difference for you. So I love that. Any other things here? And Burton, yeah, I'm going to go do some more changing on in my technology standpoint, because that was just was so great to have that. All right, anybody? I'm just wanting to leave a little bit of time here in case somebody wants to share anything. So, thank you, Audrey. Thanks for the information, everybody. A lot of thank yous. We love that. And I'm going to stop this little thing. Like, sometimes I'm running two little things at once, my Zoom and my stopwatch. So there. And let's do one more time. Make sure everybody posts. So speakers, if you'll post your info one more time, if you'll post how they can get a hold of you so that you can get their free information. So speakers, go ahead and post one more time, because I'm not sure that they can actually scroll back up to the top to get their information. Okay, so speakers, go on there and post that for me, would you please? Thank you very much. Yeah. And then Sandy, on some of the things that you shared on those, that like your rainbow thing, do you have that somewhere where we could get a copy of that, or is that on your website or somewhere so we could see that? I thought that was really cool to see that.
Sure, I can attach that in the email if anyone wants it.
Oh, that would be great. That would be great, because just seeing them sort of put in the categories like that, I think is really beneficial. So I appreciate that, because I know, and then like your food plate was really cool too, how you have that balanced in there, because I know I get unbalanced easy.
You can Google that.
Oh, that's something. Okay, all right, yep. Cool.
That's from the USDA.
Okay. All right. So, okay. Let's see. I don't see. So, Burton, I see your information. Okay. Debbie, did you repost yours?
Yes, I did.
Yeah. Let me see here. I'm trying to scroll up to see. Oh, yeah. Michelle did. I just may not see it yet.
It's a little above Burton's.
Yeah. I guess for some reason, let me see. Oh, there we go. There we go. All right, everybody. Thank you all for being here. Thank you again, speakers, for sharing your information and stuff. It was just so great. Everybody go out, have a great night, and we'll see you in a month. And I'll let you know in a week or so who the speakers will be for next month. But you all are a blessing. Thanks for taking your time, and have a wonderful evening.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks, everyone.